So, did it work? Wayne?
Triv?
You hear me? Was anyone
Talking
there?
to you. You
Is
there?
he asleep? Wayne?
Where are you?
Oh, come on. Ooh. Oh. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Good.
Yeah.
Do you think it worked?
I'm not. There's a.
Oh, Wayne, you forgot to complete your square.
I did forget to complete the square.
I think we might be alright from Mr. Hawkins. What about our viewers? They're not safe.
They don't know how to complete the square.
We need to teach them.
We'll teach them to complete the square.
Alright, okay, let's do it. Okay, I need to get out of this. So. Those boxes, there's not much room in them. Okay, I think we're safe for now. So, completing the square, it's not always just drawing a square.
No, there is a little bit of mathematical method to it sometimes.
Yeah, so you have to do some theory on before you draw the square. You'll work up to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so, like all these things about quadratic equations, I need an equation first, so when you've got an example.
There was a Q-copter and it's got an note on the bottom.
Oh.
I feel that could be for us.
That could be for us.
I'll read it for we don't have much time. Hang
Okay,
on.
quick.
You ready?
Right, x squared.
Quick, right. X squared minus 8x plus 19.
Alright,
Just like that, it's gone.
it's just like that. So was that one of Q's Q-copters?
It said Q on the bottom, I would hope so.
Oh, that's good, alright. So, complete the square. Now, with any one of these, there is a method, and this one's a bit more confusing.
Yes, it's a big step up from the other things. Firstly, what we need to appreciate is A, B and C in terms of quadratics. Now, what on earth does that mean?
Okay, Wayne, so I'm going to write sort of labels above each one, I think. So A, beginning, is the number in front of our x. B is a number in front of our x squared and our x.
Let's write the square.
I should write it squared. And C is always our constant, so that's the last number without any x.
So it should always go in the order squared to the 1 and to the 0. So A, B, C is in the right order.
Absolutely. Now here for the big equation we have to use.
Yes. Now, completing the square is putting this in another form, so I'll go ahead and write up the equation for it.
Yeah.
First you have a little bracket, looks like this.
It does look a really mean equation, but actually makes a lot of sense. You won't need to remember it too much. It's just a good way to explain how it works. So first what we're going to do is we're just going to put it into the form, and then we're going to show why.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Alright.
So we know our B is minus 8 and our A is 1 because there's an invisible 1 in front of this x squared.
So when we write our bracket, x is always at the start. Then we have our minus 8
Minus 8.
over 2a, which is 1 in this case, so it becomes 2.
I'll put two lots of 1 anyway.
Yeah.
It is 2, as Triv said. That's squared. Then you minus this same thing we just had.
Yeah?
And then
Squared.
plus our C, which
Absolutely.
is 19.
Right, now if you sort out some of this, minus 8 divided by 2
Minus 4.
minus 4, absolutely. Now that would be the same thing here, but we're squaring it, so we minus what that is squared. Minus 4 squared is 16, so it becomes minus 16 plus 19.
So minus 16 plus 19 overall is going to be 3, so
Yeah.
the final equation, x minus 4 squared plus 3 equals 0.
Whew, that was a faff. Now, like all our methods of factorising, which this is included in, when you expand it, you get back to the original. So I'll do that over here.
Okay.
So like when it's squared, it's the same having two of them. So we have x minus 4,
That's 4 squared.
x minus 4. So I'll just assume you can do expanding. If you can't, we've got a video on it, check it out. So x squared minus 8x plus 16.
Careful of you
And we got
pluses and positives.
Now you have plus 3, which equals x squared minus 8x plus 19. So it does give us...
Our original, which is the whole point of this exercise.
Well, why do we do it like this, Wayne?
Well, let's talk through the steps. So first you're going to put the x into brackets, and you've got this x. You have the b over 2a, which in this case was minus 4 squared. Now this part is solely for these two parts. The constant
Absolutely.
is later. So
When we expand that, we get x squared, then we get our minus 8x. But then we get this annoying constant, our plus 16. We're going to get rid of that, so then we minus 16 from it.
Yes, that's why we...
That's what the
minus
b
the
over
same
2a
thing
squared is.
yeah. So you've got this minus, in this case it's minus 4 squared, and minus 4 squared, minus times a minus is a plus, so it is 16 and then minus 16.
Yeah. But I want it to be by a constant, so you've got a constant on the end.
Plus 19. And that gives us an overall equation. So this part, this squared, is supposed to give you that part. Then you add on the constant to that to see the difference between what that would equal and what you're trying to get to.
Yeah, and that will give you what you originally had.
Which was, in this case, plus 3, I believe.
It was. And after all that faff, what is it actually for, Wayne?
That's a very good question. Are you ready for a very good answer?
I am.
So if we have a quadratic,
Yeah.
if we have this particular quadratic, it's going to look something like this, just like that. It's a positive x squared and it's going to look like this. Now what we have this for is for finding out the minimum point
Or minimum value.
minimum value. So what on earth is the difference and how can you work it out?
Well, Wayne, the minimum point and value really is this bit at the bottom of your quadratic, just before it starts going up again. The minimum point is its coordinates.
Yes,
And
that gives you a point rather than just a value.
Yep, and the value is how high it is up the y-axis.
Now, if you've done your translations, you may have come across why this is before.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, just take our word for it. The constant after, when you've completed the square, is how high or low, if it's a negative it's been moved down, but it's its lowest value. So it would be 3 if you were to draw a straight line across, because that's our constant in this case. Now if you want to put it in a coordinate form, you do the opposite of this as you normally do. It would be 4, because that's how far it is here. Now, if you haven't done translations yet, just take our word for it. What's in here is your x, the opposite of it, and what's at the end, whether it's positive or minus, you just leave it. If it's positive, it's 3. If it was negative 3, it would be negative 3 in the coordinate form.
And that's our minimum point, and 3 would be our minimum value, and that's what it's used for. And sometimes they mix this question, and they say, they have a point, maybe this would be P, and they'll say, what's P? They might also say, what's Q? And maybe Q would be this point here.
Now, what you do for this is when it crosses the y-axis. But that's not the same as in linear. It's not just the number at the end like it is in a straight line graph.
No, it's the easy way to find it is when x equals 0. That's a known coordinate essentially, and you can put it into our big equation.
Yeah, so 0 squared is 0, minus 8x is 0, so in this case it is just a plus 19. So this would be 19. Sometimes you might get this as a dividing thing, you might have weird fractions, so don't take it for granted that it's the number at the end.
Yeah.
Put in your numbers and check. But it's when x equals 0, it's whatever number's left, and that would be q. q would be 19, it would be 0, 19 in coordinate form,
Yeah.
0 in the x.
And that's pretty much as hard as this gets. This is A-star stuff, that last thing I went through. And
unfortunately,
yeah.
the next chapter is also going to be A-star, because I'll give you a brief preview now. You ready? If you have a quadratic like this, we know how to work out how it goes through here. You just put in 0.
Yeah.
You know how to work out its minimum value. Now how on earth can you work out these two values? It's a sneaky preview of the next video.
So
But for now, I think Hawkenstein is coming back.
I think he is. I think we need to get back our boxes, but
I think it's
we need to remember our little talking hole. Not our mouths, the tube.
Yeah, but remember, complete the square.
Yeah, complete the square.
Oh,
Wayne.
it's fine, it's fine.
Oh, complete the square. And,
So how long do you reckon we have to stay here?
well, hopefully not too long, because I really need a cup of tea.
I would love a cup of tea, actually.
Yeah.
I think he's going.
Let's dig a cave.